Imagine the aroma of warm cinnamon and baked apples filling your home, leading to a delicious Dutch apple pie that melts in your mouth. This isn't just about baking some ordinary apple pie, but this is about crafting an experience that will make a truly exceptional Dutch apple pie and that will become a fall favorite in your home. Let's up your baking game and let's get started. Some of the few key ingredients and items that you will need are Crisco shortening, some cornstarch, of course you got your freshly ground cinnamon, a food processor, pastry cutter, and of course don't forget your apples. Okay, so first we're going to start with the pie crust. So first we're going to take our all-purpose flour, go ahead and level it out. You don't want to have too much, you don't want to have too little. And we're going to put this in our processor. I like to do this step because it makes it really simple to do this first step in our processor. Let's go ahead and put some sugar. I'm going to take some salt, place that in here. And you want to take your butter, and you just want to kind of dice it up like that. You want to have it very cold. You don't want room temperature butter or it's not going to do right. And we're going to also use Crisco. We're just going to put that in our processor as well. And we're just going to post this for 15 times or until the mixture is a crumbly texture. Okay, so after we do that, we're just going to place this to a bowl. Now we're going to take ice cold water. You want it very cold. See, we put ice in ours, just put it in the fridge, and it should be very cold. And you want to add 1 tablespoon of water at a time, just until the dough starts to stick together and large clumps appear. You don't want the dough wet, but you don't want it dry either. It has to be just right. And we're just going to knead the dough gently. You don't want to like do a vigorous, harsh one. But you want to make sure that the fats in the flour and everything is combined. Just a gentle kneading. Okay, so we're just going to flatten the dough into a 1-inch thick disc. And we're going to wrap this in saram wrap, and we're going to put it in the fridge to chill for a minimum of 2 hours. Note also that the dough can be in the fridge for up to 3 days, so you can always make this in advance if you're able. Okay, and let's wrap this with some saran wrap. It'll be good to go. And just place it in the fridge and let it chill for a minimum of the 2 hours. Now, for our topping, we're going to make the Dutch pie crumble. And for this, we're going to take our flour, and this is just all-purpose flour. Go ahead and level it off like we always do. And let's go ahead and take our brown sugar. Let's go ahead and place our brown sugar. Next, we're going to take some salt, and this is kosher salt that we're going to use for this. Just need about a half teaspoon, that's fine. And our freshly ground cinnamon. We're going to whisk this up a little bit. We're going to take our stick of butter, make sure it's cold, cut it into cubes, and we're going to place that in here as well. You can use a fork or you can use your pastry cutter, and you're just going to get this all mixed in really good until it's nice and crumbly, because you want a nice crumbly texture. Okay, and you see how it's a nice crumbly texture? That's what you want. So we're going to cover it and place this in the fridge while we prepare our other ingredients. Okay, so now to make your apple pie filling, and you want to use a variety of apples. It helps balance out the sweetness with the tartness. We like to use the Granny Smith, and these are Honeycrisp, but Fuji apples also work. So if you don't have Honeycrisp, use Fuji. Basically, we're just going to peel, core, and cut our apples and dice them. And I have my fresh squeezed lemon juice here because we're just going to mis-spray it. And what the fresh lemon juice does is it helps keep the apples from turning brown. You don't want to have the brown apples. Okay, so let's go ahead and peel. And we're going to just do this for each of our apples. I'm just going to do a few of these at a time. So that way I can spray it with the lemon juice. And we're going to core it. So I can show you as an example. And we're just going to slice them. Just like so. And leave them sliced. After you slice up, you're going to spray them with the lemon juice to prevent them from turning brown. And I'm just going to spray it with some lemon juice to help them from turning brown. We're going to do that for each of our apples and do a few at a time so that way you can spray as you go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to melt some butter in our pan. And also, by the way, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and press this like button if you're enjoying this video so far. We would appreciate it, and it does help us get pushed out there. Okay, so once the butter is melted, we're going to go ahead and take our brown sugar, granulated sugar. Let's give that a good mix. We're going to put some lemon juice, vanilla extract. I'm going to put nutmeg in here, and we're going to put our cinnamon in here, and some salt. We're going to go ahead and give this a good mix in, and we're just going to cook this for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to pour our apples in here. And we're just going to mix and coat these well. And this should also make a little bit of the juice from the apples should come out in this as well. Okay, so after you have coated the apples well, we're going to cover and cook them for about 10 to 15 minutes. But you want to make sure that you don't cook the apples all the way through, but you want them softened enough so they aren't crunchy after baking the pie. And the apples should make their own apple juice, and you couldn't stir it here and there, but just for about 10 to 15 minutes. And you see how it's making its own juice, and that's what you want to see. You're just going to cover it back up after mixing them again. Okay, so now we're going to take 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water. And this is going to be our thickening agent. You're just going to give this a nice mix in. This will thicken the juice, the juice that's within it, and helps turn it into filling. You see how the apples aren't fully cooked, but they're soft enough? We're going to go ahead and pour this in here. This cornstarch, and give it a good mix, and it should thicken up. And there you go. And that's your apple pie filling. Okay, and we're just going to pour our apples in here so they don't continue to cook. All your little filling. Okay, so now we're going to do the pie crust. Make sure that you set this out for a good 5 minutes. And we have our pie plate is 9.5 inches. You might have to flour your rolling pin to help prevent it from sticking. And you're just going to gently roll this out. And you can also check to see if you need a little bit more by just putting your pie plate up against this, and it looks like I might need a little bit more length, so I'm going to stretch it out. And if you need more flour under it so that way it's not sticking, you can do so as well. Lift it up a little bit and place more flour underneath because you don't want it to stick. And you want to make sure it's rolled out enough so that way it can go up all the way up the sides, and you want it to go over the ridge of the pie plate. Okay, so after you roll it out, we're going to go ahead and just pick it up real quick and place it centered into the pie pan. And you want to be careful to not tear it. I quickly lifted it in here, and if it's just a little tad bit short on some of the ends, I kind of just work the pie crust just gently to kind of push it out. And you want to make sure that you also make sure it's up against the edges and the crevices of the pie plate. Also, other methods you can use is you can use a rolling pin and gently roll the dough onto here and put it in the pie plate. Or another method you could use is just fold it in half and then fold it towards a triangle and unfold it into the pie plate as well. So it's a few different varying methods. I just picked this one up. You might have to have a pie cutter though and double check if you didn't add extra flour underneath or if it just wasn't enough flour. It kind of just gently go under it, so that way it's not sticking or anything to your mat before you pick it up, so that way it doesn't tear. But now I'm just going to do a simple fork pattern for the crust, and we're just going to do this all around. Give it a nice little design. Then once we're done with this, we're going to put this in the refrigerator to chill for about 15 to 20 minutes. And preheat your oven while it's already in the fridge. And you see the nice pattern and design. Just taking a fork and just gently pressing it, and then it should mold it. And we're going to assemble the pie and put it in the oven after it chills for about 15 to 20 minutes in the fridge and the pie plate. Okay, so the pie crust is in the fridge and it's chilling. We got our oven preheating at 375, and like I mentioned before, there's various methods of getting it into the pie plate. And I mean, even if you need it to be a two-man job, whatever you do, get it in there without tearing it, because that's crucial. All right, so after chilling the pie dough, we're going to go ahead and place the apple pie filling. This is going to be really good, loaded with nice apples. All right. Try to get more of this compote off of the bowl. Now, we're going to just go ahead and top it with the crumble that we made. And you want to be generous with it. You want to make sure to get everything covered as much as you can. Okay, so after we spread the Dutch pie crumble on top, we just lined the crust part with foil, so that way it doesn't brown or get too dark. You don't want your crust to be more of a dark and burnt color or nothing like that, so that's why we line it with foil. It just helps with that. You want it to be a light golden color, and that's why the foil helps with that. Also, we're going to place this in the oven at 375 degrees, and we're going to bake this for 50 to 55 minutes or until the liquid is nice and bubbly. Also, once the pie is done baking, you want to place it on a cooling rack and let it cool for about 4 to 6 hours or overnight, if that's what you would prefer, because the pie has to set. You don't want to cut into it and it's still all runny and all that. You want it to set right. So make sure that you let it cool for 4 to 6 hours. Okay, so now, who's ready for the big pie reveal? We placed ours in the fridge overnight since our pie got done so late, and so we let it get to room temperature. I had to go in the fridge. I had to get to bed. But now we're going to cut it. It's the next day. And here it is. Looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to take our pie server and we're going to dig right in. Okay, so here it is. Doesn't it look yummy? Yummy crust. You got the Dutch pie crumble. It's loaded with apples. This pie is amazing, and I believe that you will enjoy it. Okay, so we wanted to share some scripture with you today, and we're in Lamentations chapter 3, verse 25. It says, "The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the person who seeks him." So place your trust in Jesus and have a blessed week. All right, so if this video was at all helpful to you and you enjoyed it, I ask that you press that like button, press the hype button as well. Comment down below. Let us know, are you going to try this Dutch apple pie recipe of ours? Also, don't forget to check out our apple butter recipe right here, our apple cinnamon muffins right here, or any of our other fall recipes or latest video uploads.